Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Don't mind the dryer behind me going. Apologize for that. So here's just a little silly story. About a year ago, I went to a local video game store and I traded in some stuff and I picked up the Japanese copy of Power Stone on Dreamcast. You may remember me doing a video about this. Anyhow, I brought it home. It didn't work. Brought it back. They resurfaced it. They apologized and they gave me a $5 credit. They've since opened, I think, 2 more stores, and the game works, by the way, now. They've since opened 2 more stores, and I have this $5 credit sitting there. So, the other day I write to my friends, who all happen to be siblings, and I said, do you guys want to meet over there and check out the store, and, you know, maybe I'll finally use my $5 credit. So I'm going through the Dreamcast stuff. Their prices are all pretty much price charting prices. So if you pull something off the shelf, there's usually not a price. They look at it, they look it up, and then they make it like a flat. If it's $48, they say, oh, it's $50. So they have a little wiggle room sometimes where you'll say like, can you take a few bucks off? And they'll take $3, $4 off. I've done that with them. So I'm looking around, Japanese imports of the Saturn, some Dreamcast games, but most of them are very scratched. They have a copy of Evil Dead for Dreamcast, which I know isn't a great game, but I figured if it was like 15, 20 bucks, maybe I'd pick it up. It was 50. So I'm like, all right, these prices are just outrageous. You know, everything's just went up so much with retro gaming that it's hard for me. So I'm going through the Genesis titles, and I don't know why I picked this up, probably because of the odd shape. Universal Soldier, based off of the film. So I've seen the movie years ago, probably a decade ago, and it was good. I don't really remember much of it. You know, action, sci-fi movie with Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme, who I like. I like both of them. And I flip it over, and it's 10 bucks. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm like, okay, that'll only cost me 5 bucks because I have a credit. This is kind of a nonsense story. So I go to the guy. It's the owner of the store. He's, you know, pleasant guy. And he goes, oh, there's a sticker on it, huh? You caught me slipping. He goes, this game goes for $20 now, but I'll honor it and I'll sell it to you for 10. So I'm like, oh, I also have a credit. He must have been aggravated at that point, but either way, he was, you know, pleasant enough. And I got Universal Soldier on Genesis for 5 bucks loose. I looked it up. It got great reviews, but there was some weird stories behind it. I'm like, what's the deal with this game? So what happened, and this is kind of amusing, this was put out by Accolade. They took Turrican 2, I think, the run-and-gun game that most people know. I think it was very popular in Europe, I want to say. And it's one of those games where you hold the button and you can move the D-pad to kind of shoot in 360 degrees while you're running like Contra. Sort of like Contra. They changed the sprites and some of the level assets into characters from the film. So the bosses look like a huge Dolph Lundgren. It's really weird. It's a pretty fun game. It could be a little difficult. I played it with my friends when we got back to my house. And it's just an interesting thing that they took this, kind of like the way Mario Brothers 2 on the NES, where they took that Japanese game and they just used Mario sprites, so some of the stuff has like nothing to do with it. Think of that. But this one ended up being a pretty good game. Mario 2 is my favorite Mario, by the way, so, or Mario, if you will. So I'm not downing it. But I just thought it was so funny that they took Turrican 2 and replaced the sprites for Universal Soldier and put it out there, and there's all these weird stories behind it. So that's my little nonsense video game story for today. I don't pick up much video game wise recently because of the prices, and at the flea market I don't really see anything I want lately, but if I do pick up anything in the near future, I will definitely do a video before the flea market closes for the winter. Thank you guys for watching. I hope all is well. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.